So welcome, Sahrit.
Hi.
I'm so happy to have you on. Now you and I discovered each other a few weeks ago, and I mean, people say I've got a lot of energy, and I have, but you've got this sort of wild energy, and I'm really excited to talk to you because, interestingly, and people are going to be surprised as we go through this, that you surprisingly have this background of extreme fear and anxiety and worry, and
Yep.
you come across as this incredibly, which I know you've learnt to be now. Actually, I'm going to say something. I reckon that's not true. I reckon this person now that we've got was already in there, but was being suffocated by beliefs. That's what I reckon. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I thought I was a scaredy cat, and pretty much until recent, I kept telling people that my highest value was seeking safety and certainty. And I didn't realize that I'm actually an adventure, a real adventure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm done with that old label that I put on myself.
Yeah, the stories we tell ourselves, actually, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's how many people, I'm going to introduce you in a minute so that we know who you are, but how many people do you think? Well, I mean, I'm not asking for a number because that's impossible. So many people out there must be, well, they are. I'm not saying must be because I know it's a fact, telling themselves a story about who they are, and what their capacity is and what their potential is and what their glass ceiling is. And we still do it. Don't get me wrong, like you and I, we've still got ways to go, but
Self-limiting beliefs, we
yeah.
put them on ourselves throughout the year. Some of them we adopt.
Mm,
It could be when we're little and one person tells us we're not good at something, and we're like, oh, I'm going to adopt that. We don't even
ex
think about that. I
Yep.
guess I am not good at reading, or I'm not good at speaking. And
Yep.
then we just keep telling ourselves that enough times and we believe it.
Especially if it comes from an authoritative figure, someone who we trust, to keep us wrapped up in safety. So we believe that because it keeps us safe. And as you know, human beings, their priority is safety. Whatever's going to keep me safe, I'm going to hang on to for as long as I can. But let me introduce you because you are a nutcase. You love roller coasters. So, so you're talking about the worst, in my mind, the worst safety issue in the whole world. But anyway, I think it's worse than swimming with sharks. But let me
That's
introduce you.
perfect. That's perfect. That's actually perfect for us.
I'm not swimming with sharks either. But anyway, so let me introduce you. Sarit Freud-Weinstein is a dance instructor, a creative entrepreneur, a mum of three who helps women expand their lives through play, movement, and self trust. With a background in dance theatre education and workshops taught across Greece, Africa, and Hawaii, and I do want to talk about that, she blends art, adventure, and empowerment. Now, this bit. What the hell? From mermaid certification to gorilla trekking, to show women that confidence is built by living fully, not waiting to feel ready. She helps women go from worry bunnies to wonder bunnies. You know what? I love all of that. I friggin' love all of that. I don't know where to start. Well, I have to start somewhere. Let's just start with uh, the dance theatre and your workshops in Greece, Africa, and Hawaii. Oh, no, stop. And I also forgot to mention you're the author of, oh my God, the biggest thing, the reason I really yelled out to you. Yeah, The Girl Who Doesn't Go on Roller Coasters, which, folks,
Yes.
is a bloody lie because now she does and she thinks
Now
it's
she does.
best thing in the world. Holy shit, we got to talk about that. But what about Greece, Africa, and Hawaii? Like, what took you to all those places? And that's great.
So funny enough, I had dreams to travel the world, but there was one big problem. I had a major fear of flying, and that can kind of restrict you from going places.
Yeah.
And slowly, when I was facing different fears, the more fears I faced, I got more courage to take on other fears. And I did face the fear of flying. I conquered it. I have a whole chapter in my book about flying because I know that it's a big one for a
Mm,
lot of people.
mm.
And suddenly, when I faced those fears, doors were opening up, opportunities to travel more were opening up. And because I am a big extrovert and I talk to pretty much every person that walks by me, what did they say? There's no stranger, or every stranger is a new friend that I just haven't met yet. And I was on this Facebook thing. It wasn't Facebook, but it was like a network for pole fitness
Wow.
dancers. Okay, I was teaching pole dance, and it was kind of like I had a pen pal in Greece that had her own studio. And one day she said, "Hey, Sahrit, do you want to teach Athens, Greece first workshop here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And everything was so exciting. That was the first international workshop for me to go teach at the airport with my then boyfriend, now husband, Lior. We go to the plane, and literally before I enter that tunnel that leads to the plane, I freeze. There's an invisible wall in front of me. I
Wow.
couldn't pass through because that's when my fear of flying was at its height.
Yeah.
And I literally was about to start teaching internationally, like the biggest dream
Yeah.
for dancers and performers to go and teach everywhere. And I couldn't do it. And it was a very big, harsh moment where I almost said goodbye to that dream and to travel.
Wow.
And I couldn't physically move past this invisible wall. And Lior, he did such a wonderful thing for me. He did this reverse psychology where he just told me, it's okay. Don't worry about the money. We don't have to go. Because I just was thinking about all the horrible things and like being stuck in the airplane and
Yep.
can't go out whenever I want, all the
Yep. Yep.
you know, claustrophobic and all that. And the second he told me we don't have to go, and this was a big opportunity for me,
Mm.
I really had a moment to think, okay, nobody's forcing me to do it. I could
Mm.
go home right now.
Yep.
I could let fear win.
Yep.
And I think that once that obligation came down and the guilt of wasting the money
Mm.
and this big opportunity, once I allowed myself to start from zero and then say, what does Sarit inside truly want?
Mm.
She really wants to be this adventurous person, even though she's so scared right now, so scared. She can't move. But what will happen if I be her now?
Mm.
And could I do this? And I just started saying yes, and that invisible wall just disappeared, even though it wasn't there before. But
Yeah.
I knew that it disappeared.
Wow.
And I just walked slowly, like one step at a time. You couldn't tell it's the same person that you meet now. But I
Wow.
was inching my way onto that jetway, breathing and going there. And it was incredible. And that started the future travels that we ended up having. We became a travel family with our three kids that were
Wow.
homeschooling. And every new place that we traveled to, I also conquered the fear of flying slowly, slowly, right? Slowly, slowly. And it's in the book. There it took a little longer than slowly, slowly. And every new place that we went to travel to, I just seeked out studios and asked to teach. So that's how that came.
Wow. Do you know what's hitting me there very clearly is that when you're about to go onto that the jetway, well, I don't know what it's called, but that thing that goes into the planes, you were there was a feeling of being pushed. Does that this is what I'm seeing, it is what I'm visualizing. It's almost like you felt like there was hands on your back pushing you to something and you were resisting and pulling back. But then the minute there's no push, then
Right.
you now take ownership to pull,
Yeah.
towards it. And what a great metaphor. In that I just wrote a post recently about pushing people, pushing resistant people, and how we should never, ever, ever push resistant people because all we're doing is making it worse. And it's just
Right.
that's a classic example of that concept. You know, just and not that anyone was pushing you. This is how much we can. So in what I'm talking about, there is a real person pushing someone. So that is very tangible and real. But what we've also got to deal with is our own narrative. As on top
We
of that, you know, you only had your narrative or your belief
There
system.
was a lot of guilt
Yeah,
because I was thinking anybody else would go immediately and take on this adventure.
yeah,
Why are you so scared? Like I was so mad at myself
yeah,
for being a scaredy cat. I wasn't loving that part of me.
yeah, yeah,
And here I am today after a lot of fears. I'm still a scaredy cat. That's what I want to tell you. I learned that fear never goes away.
yeah.
However, now I'm a brave scaredy cat.
I love
Once
it.
I discovered the power of courage,
Uh, I'm
yeah,
writing that down because
just
I
keep
think
going.
that's a
Yeah.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
little saying. Scared cat, brave scaredy cat.
Brave, brave scaredy cat.
And when you
Yeah.
talk about the power of courage, you know, another thing that you talk about, and it's kind of like a roller coaster, the momentum of one is creating a snowball of courage, you know, and that just
Mhm.
building this momentum of one step on top of the other, on top of the other, you know, like sort of a compound effect of courage, you know, just keep
Yeah.
building. And with that, see, I always just think of questions as I'm going, which is fantastic. Do you imagine that if you paused for long enough, those voices would creep back in?
Well, here's a cool trick that I've been doing. So I've started noticing the scared voices, kind of like if you've watched the movie Inside Out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, especially Inside Out too, I have a lot of the voice of anxiety talk to me
yeah,
and fear.
yeah,
And I started noticing more often that they are speaking to me. And what my trick lately has been was I let the positive voices kind of move in rent free.
yeah,
So, for example, even on another subject with self worth and self love,
yeah,
when I notice that I have these negative loops going around and talking harshly to myself, I'm like, one moment, let's do some self worthship. Let's
mm,
move in my best girlfriend, my best friend. Let's move her in rent free because she would never talk to me like that.
yeah,
And she starts telling me, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Oh, did you see how wonderful you look today? Girl, look at those curves. Oh my gosh, that color is great on you." And I start hyping myself. It's like a self hype practice. And I call it self worthship.
yeah,
And so it's just entering the positive voices in our mind because we constantly are going to have those voices that are telling us to be careful
yeah,
because fear is there just to protect us really in the smallest cases of real danger,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So in case god forbid somebody's in a house and there starts a fire,
yeah,
so fear is there to tell you get out now, get
yeah,
out now.
yeah,
But there's no reason to listen to fear all the time
mm,
because it's mostly just predicting that danger could happen. But you have to let logic come in and say, wait a second, is there a bear coming? No. Do I smell any fire? No. Okay. Okay, we're good. Fear, relax. It's like a little
yeah,
toddler in the back of a car just saying, like, hey, listen to me, listen to me. And you're like, you're not letting the toddler drive the car, are you? So why are we letting fear drive the car? It's like, you can
100%.
ride with me, but stay calm back there. I got this. I got this.
100%. We don't stop long enough to do that, do we? This is a problem, I reckon. We're going go, 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 go. And then we don't stop long enough to reflect. You know, I see the world getting more and more chaotic like that. You know, we're just letting all these emotions drive us all the time. And I think emotions are fabulous, you know, but we also have to stop and go, well, wait a second. Why do I feel that? Where's this coming from? We don't do it often enough. Human beings just get caught up in the. So I love that you're doing that. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, if I want to or not, I identify as an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I was really harsh on myself, like, why do I experience these
Yep.
emotions so
Yep.
big? But the second we start loving them and
Yep.
appreciating them, and then we decide who is leading,
Yep.
who's taking over right now.
Yep.
And start loving each emotion.
Yep.
Comparison is coming up. Oh, thank you. Don't worry. Nobody's taking my place. You can go back now. Go back now. We're fine. Fears leading. We're okay. There's no bear here. And funny enough, I have a friend that survived a bear attack in Alaska. That puts some perspective into things also. When you
Wow.
meet people that meet actual fear in front of them and not made up fear, because that's mostly what I have done my whole life.
Yep.
I used to be a scaredy cat, right? I'm a brave scaredy cat now. I used to make up the monsters. I used to
Yeah.
have so many fears that I created. I created the bears. I created the sharks.
Mm.
Everything for me was the worst case scenario.
Yep.
And then I meet a friend who survived a bear attack. And I'm like, wow, you're my hero. Like, you knew what to do when actually, like, fear actually came. That's
Yep.
what you need fear for, just for those moments.
Yep.
And most of the time, we don't meet bears.
No, we don't. We don't. I have to admit, like this. I'm a catastrophic thinker. I am, but I've managed it. Like I know how to manage it, and then I recognize when it comes up, and I think, right, okay, and I go straight to contingency plan. Okay, fine, contingency plan. If that were to happen, what's the best way to avoid it? How do I minimize it? Yes, I've got a plan in my head and I can do it within 2 or 3 minutes. See, I've got a plan in my head, done. Now I can put it to bed because I've got a contingency plan and we're right. And last year with my leadership program, we had a 2-day residential and one of the women there was a catastrophic thinker, but had not mastered that, was still letting the catastrophe run the show. And we started talking about, having a contingency plan, like because you can't change, it's hard to change who you are, and if that's who you are. And, because if she went on a boat with her kids were going to get eaten by sharks. And then she would go into this incredible level. I really feel for her, this incredible level of anxiety, couldn't get in the water because she had to stand guard and all this sort of stuff. And when we started talking about contingency planning, and going, well, hang on, stop and think, okay, now if that were to happen, what could I do to avoid it? What could I do to minimize it? Is it really going to happen? Probably not, but let's avoid it anyway, And she said, yeah, I never thought like now she's free. Like now she's enjoying life and she's saying, oh, my kids can, they can do whatever they want. They're fine. They can look after themselves. To see that shift, just from having that contingency plan. But
And I'd love to add for the catastrophizing, because I tend
yes,
to do that a lot, all the time,
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Is there's this beautiful tool, because my book is basically each chapter is a different fear that I faced, and about 10 tools that I used
yeah,
that anybody could use to help them with facing that same fear.
yeah,
And one of them that helps also with the catastrophizing is doubt the fear, meaning when we're catastrophizing, we're thinking about the 99.99999% of worst case things that can happen. But in actuality, maybe 0.00001% of that fear that we're imagining is actually going to happen.
yeah,
So my trick is flip it.
yeah,
Use this beautiful imagination that we have, because that's all it is. We just have such a great imagination that we're
we,
thinking of all the worst case scenarios. We could become thriller directors or writers. You know what I mean? We've got some good catastrophizing stories. What if we use the imagination to think of the best case scenarios?
yeah,
This is going to take some training, some reps.
yeah,
It's not coming naturally to us yet. But what if every time we catch ourselves, oh, there I go, inventing that crazy thriller story again. Oh, that one's a good one. The way that shark just ate that person in my mind. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Right? Wait a second, catch myself. Breathe, relax. Flip it. What's the best case that can happen right now? Oh
yeah,
my gosh. maybe somebody's flying a helicopter and lowering I'm on a boat, right? Because we're near the sharks, of course. And a
That don't
helicopter's
exist.
coming in. They're lowering the ladder, and this amazing, handsome, or gorgeous person is coming down the ladder saying, "Hey, want to join me for a great adventure?" Sure. And then we're going up the ladder. We can invent so many great things. And basically, what you're doing is you're starting to let endorphins in, maybe some laughter from all this,
Yeah.
because it's funny to think of funny imagination stories,
Yeah.
right? Like funny scenarios, right?
And probably the sharks aren't even there.
Exactly. Exactly.
I remember I went swimming, and I never do it now, but I went swimming out into the bay here, to swim with dolphins and seals, and I remember getting into the water, and I just don't I just don't like water, and I'm never going to face my fear of water. I just hate it. I freaking hate it. Um,
Never say never to me.
no, no, I'm not going to. I don't like water. I actually don't like being in water. But
Well, there's probably a reason.
no, yeah, probably. I think I was in Atlanta, but I had bright fluorescent flippers on, bright green fluorescent flippers on, and a mask and a snorkel. And anyway, and they said, if a shark comes up, don't worry, the water will just turn brown. You'll be gone, so don't worry about it. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, that's not the good thing to say to me. And then
No.
and then they said, jump in the water and fix up your mask, get that. We'll
Right.
just be here. If you can't handle the water, if you freak out, just wave and we'll pick you up. We'll just grab you out of the water. So I thought, okay, well, that's in my contingency plan. That's all safe. That's okay. Well, I got into the water and put my mask on and I looked under the water and I couldn't. I'm a short person. I couldn't even see my bright fluorescent flippers. Like the water was that dirty, and I thought, fuck. If I can't see my flippers, I'm not going to see a shark coming, right? And I start hyperventilating, and then I think far out my arm straight up to wave to the ship, to wave to the little boat ship. It wasn't a ship, it was a boat. And I then look up through my mask, and I thought, they're not there. They're not there. And
No.
I'm like, Christ, where's the boat? And then all they were doing, they were just circling, right? And they were behind me,
Oh
but they
my
were still
gosh.
so far away. And I'm like, I nearly drowned myself.
Oh my gosh.
Waiting for them. And it was bloody hell. It was so, I'm like, I'm never going back in that fucking water. I couldn't even see my bloody flippers. It was so, and there are sharks in that bay. Like there definitely are sharks in that bay. And what do sharks love? Little seals. And so everyone swim with the little seals. Sometimes you just want to swim in a pool. Just stay with the bloody pool. Anyway, I'm just sharing
That's
stories.
amazing. Oh yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't go in after that. I understand you. The funny thing is that we're in Maui right now.
Oh,
And I
wow.
actually didn't go into the ocean till I was 18. So I completely understand you. I grew up on the movie Jaws, if you've
Yeah, so
seen
did
Jaws.
I.
Yeah.
And
So that prevented me from going many years into the ocean.
yep.
But now I actually within the years I had different tricks in getting into the water. Also, I put that in the book. And it was a funny story how my dad helped me conquer that fear. He basically tied a rope to a tube
Yeah.
where I got at age 18, no shame.
Yeah.
I went on the tube and got dragged by the rope by him. So I didn't have to touch the water. Because for years, my whole family went snorkeling
Yeah.
in the Red Sea, like south of Israel, in the Red Sea border with Egypt. And every time they went snorkeling, I was the only one sitting out, and they were yelling to me, like, come in, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And I was like, nope. And I'm the oldest. It was a little embarrassing, but I didn't care. I was not going to let them tell me what to do because I let fear run the show. And one day when I was 18, I, laid down on that tube. My dad dragged me into the ocean, and I had my snorkels, and I was making sure I don't touch the water. And I put my face in. And I also grew up on the movie The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
So I also loved Ariel,
Yep.
but
Yep.
it's kind of hard to be a mermaid out of the water.
Yep.
And so the second I put my face in and I see all the color and I see the Nemos and I see, all the beautiful fish and coral, I couldn't stop saying, wow, what
Yeah.
have I been missing?
Yeah.
And slowly, slowly, I got into more and more ocean adventures after that. Fast forward to coming to Maui, knowing there are sharks in these waters.
Yeah.
I was terrified at first, but then the education and learning about them,
Yeah.
how they don't. Well, this was the thing that got me the most. They don't like human flavor.
Because someone asked
So yeah, well, here's the funny thing. They usually yeah, they say they don't like human flavor. And all this knowledge actually calmed me down. There was more. They said that when you don't go in murky water, you usually are fine. It's the problem when people go in murky
them.
water, kind of
Yeah.
like what you did. And like the tiger sharks, for example, they don't have good eyesight.
Yeah.
So
They feel the
if they by
thrashing.
mistake,
Yep.
yeah, if they by mistake bite somebody that's human, bite a human, and they're like, "Ugh, I don't like that flavor," and then they spit it out, but there goes somebody's leg,
Yep. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's just all these rules, like don't go in murky
Yes.
water, and the biggest thing that my mom loved to hear when I told her about this one is that if you are in regular clear water and you see a shark coming to you, first of all, the reef sharks are not dangerous at all.
Yep. Yep.
But if it's like, for example, a tiger shark, and you see the tiger shark coming at you, you have to stay calm. First of all, no wiggling your hands. Do not look like prey.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
okay. And you just eye contact with them while swimming slowly backwards. And usually, like, oh, and big chest,
Big. Yeah.
shoulders back, arms wide, kind of look big. And usually they'll go away because they're like, oh, that doesn't look interesting. And they go away. And then they said, well, if it comes around again, and it comes close, all you have to do is straight hand over its nose and kind of push it down and to the side, kind of redirect it. I told that to my
Wow.
mom. She's like, nope.
Wow. Wow. It's funny. It's funny you should talk about that because yeah, I'm my big rule, murky water, no freaking way. If I can't see the bottom, I ain't going in. I will go into a swimming pool, only if it's very, very hot. But it's funny, I will not swim in Australian waters. No way will I get into any of our beaches, not on any, no way, because we've got so many body bugs and shit, no way. But in Hawaii, which I've been to 23 times, right? And all that that is the only place in the world that I will get into that ocean and not give a shit. And I used to well, when I say surf, I wouldn't say greatly, but I would watch the reef sharks underneath, and thoroughly enjoy them because I know they're like a dog. If they bite you, it's like a dog bite, and that's all there is to it. And they're not interested, but it's only if you
They're
grab
not
them. Like what
interested.
a
Yeah.
dickhead to grab a shark, and so I've never been scared of the water in Hawaii ever, and
Mm.
the other thing is to having a camera. And I learnt with the old, those old cameras that were like the old waterproof ones with film, and you had a big fat plastic cage over top of them, cover up,
Yeah.
and bulky things. What I noticed is when I had a camera, I had zero fear of water. And like I would be especially at Hanalma Bay, I'd go out a little bit further, and sort of duck dive with a snorkel.
Right.
All the I can't think of the eels. What's the type of eel in Hawaii? Oh shit, I can't think.
They
There's
got the spotted ones
no,
and all
no, it's got
kinds.
a particular name. Anyway, these eels were like living in rocks, and they would come out. They'd put like about maybe
Yeah.
6 inches of their head and a little bit of their body
Right.
out. And the
Right.
photos were just incredible. And I had zero fear of these. These eels bite, like they definitely
Yeah.
do
They're
bite.
pretty
They,
dangerous.
they do. But never had a fear at all if I had a camera in my hand. So it's a funny,
Mm.
isn't it funny though, the conditions that we put on ourselves,
Well, you're
and
also really focused on the camera.
yeah,
Maybe that gives you some sense of
what's
anchor
a higher
or
value,
control.
I think. Higher value than the fear? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but
Well,
it's
I mean, there is a thing with also with videos and cameras. Like I've conquered different fears that I was very scared. And when my hubby or somebody took a video of me or a photo, then I was focused on the camera and I wasn't thinking about all the scary stuff around me. And I was, in a way, you're distracted and you're like, for me, what helped was telling the camera, like basically taking a video for my future self,
yeah,
giving
yeah,
her real data on what's happening now. Like, right now, I'm a 5 out of 10 scared. You got this. Don't forget that you are brave right now. Because, like later you can watch it and you can look in the video, even under the sea, right? You could be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
look, I wasn't scared in this moment.
yeah,
It's a good reminder because a lot of times between doing challenges or adventures or fears, then the fear can grow again.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the snowball of courage is you want to keep it going, the momentum going, because the more you take a break, for example,
yeah.
with my fear of flying that I had, the longer in between flights I had,
Mm,
then suddenly when I had another flight come up, I would get anxious again for it
yeah.
versus when I had trips closer together.
Mm,
And now, which is amazing, I don't have that anxiety anymore.
mm.
Like I used to, yeah, I'm mixing up subjects here,
No,
but
no, that's fine.
basically, yeah, I kind of go everywhere. Um,
Fear's one big topic. That's fine. We're still
yeah,
on fear. Yeah.
yeah. So that
Uh,
the video, yes, the
yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that when you had that uh, camera, that it kind of gave you focus. You became a photographer and you were thinking about other things. You were thinking about things that got you excited.
Yeah.
And you can't have two emotions. Mel Robbins talks about this a lot. That you can't have two emotions at the same time. So you can't be afraid at the same time as you're excited.
Yeah.
So if you're, under the water and you're taking a photo of an eel that you don't want to get too close to because it could bite, but you're thinking about the beauty of it and capturing it and oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this photo. It's so exciting and I'm proud of myself for getting this photo going down. Then you're thinking of exciting things. You're not thinking about the fear.
No,
So
no,
it
I
kind of,
agree.
yeah,
And
soothes.
when I travel too, I go to, like last year, Nepal and Cambodia, for example, and the dogs. I'm so obsessed with animals in other countries and particularly dogs. And people say, don't touch the bloody dogs, but I do. And I take selfies with the dogs, and the dogs just love it, and touch wood, thank God, but I don't have fear when it comes to dogs, and
Yeah.
I have awareness, I can tell when a dog does not want to be touched and don't even attempt it. But it's just that yeah, it's amazing. I just want that selfie. Yeah, and it's not to show anyone. It's for me to have that look at that beautiful dog. Look at that moment that I had with that beautiful dog. It's amazing.
The
Can we go back?
moment.
Because I'm going to
Yeah.
forget. I'm going to forget, and it
Yeah.
suddenly popped back in my head. You talked about Ariel the mermaid.
Okay.
Because we both sounds like we both this fear of water, and sometimes you just got to conquer it. Sometimes you got to pick your conditions, so that you can enjoy it at the right moment. You
Mhm.
talked about Ariel the mermaid, and I agree because I think I will never do scuba diving, because it just does not. I do not want to spend my time bloody doing scuba diving and sucking on a fucking tube. But being under the water many, many times, in different situations, it is another world under there. And like how it is portrayed in Ariel, the Little Mermaid, it is like that actually, unless it's
Really
been
invites
unless
you.
it's
Yeah.
been ripped up by a cyclone or some shit. But it is beautiful, particularly around reefs and so you've gone and seen that and you've thought, oh my God, what am I missing out on? Now,
Yeah.
in that moment, did you imagine, oh, I think I want to be a mermaid because now you do mermaid certification. I'm not laughing at I'm not laughing. It's just like
Oh, it's okay. I
I
don't want.
love the irony, and I actually
Yeah.
love the imagination world of it. I
Yeah.
love that. So mermaid certification, what is that?
So funny enough, it's actually a sport. I
Is
mean,
it?
it's been around for over 20 years. Yeah. You
Wow.
can actually, you know how there's the PADI certification,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
scuba diving.
Yep.
So I found a lady that I was following on Instagram for years that she created a mermaid school in
Ah,
Florida. It's all over the world, by the way.
yeah.
It's all over the world. But there was about a decade while I was having my kids that I kept saying, oh my gosh, that would be perfect for me. I love mermaids. You can actually be a real mermaid. And for 10 years, I told myself I'm going to do it, but I kept having different, I was having more babies. I was busy having babies and raising kids. So I kept telling myself one day, that seems exactly for me. And a few years ago, I saw, like, after following this lady in Florida for so long, she posted a retreat where you get certified as a beginner free diver and a mermaid. And since I wanted to, it goes back to control. We should talk about how fear all links to lack of
Yep.
control or having control.
Yep.
And since I preferred having more control in duck diving and swimming with my own breath hold versus the scuba diving I
Yep.
eventually did that. I like being in control.
Yep.
And with the scuba, you have to put on all this gear, right?
Yep. Yep.
But free diving, you just need your snorkel and you just,
Yep.
depending on how much breath hold you have,
Yep.
you can hang out there and come up whenever you want. You don't have to come up slowly like in scuba diving. So I saw marketing for that retreat. There was one spot left and I took it. And I just went to that retreat and got certified. And she did underwater photo shoots. It was incredible.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah. And then of course you get a million tails. You start investing. There's a lot of money that goes into this sport. The tails, the beautiful bras, they're all so different from each other. So you have to have all of them. It's
wow.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
where do you wear them? Like, you don't just go down to your local pool in your mermaid outfit, do you?
Yes, you do.
Do you?
Yes, you do. Yeah, I do.
Shit.
Yeah.
Love
And you make a lot of new friends fast because everybody is so amazed. Like,
it.
what is this? And I mean, you can have fun. You could take your tail and your bra to the rocks by the beach. You can do photo shoots out of the ocean. You don't even have to be in the water. You could go to lakes and just float
Fly on the
and
edge.
have like a drone take beautiful photos of you. There's so many options. It's so much fun.
I absolutely love that. And you with your nice black flowy hair, you are like you've got that mermaid hair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's
Oh,
actually funny. People will put wigs, they'll go above and beyond with the outfits for these.
wow.
It's it's a
I'm
big addiction.
laughing like it's ridiculous, but it is so happily ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is just so
Yeah.
much
The
fun.
the biggest thing that's ridiculous about it is the price for the silicone
Yeah.
tails. You don't even want to know how much those cost.
Oh, I
The
can.
real, like the ones that really look real.
Yeah.
Woof.
Wow. Where do you
They
even
make
buy
some real
them?
tails.
Like, do they have to come from a very particular?
There's people that make them in Florida. I'm
Wow.
sure that Australia
I
has
don't
people
want
that make
one.
them.
I don't want one, thanks. I've never imagined myself as my little mermaid, but in my
But definitely online.
well, in my family chat, my label is My Little Pony, but I'll take that, but I'm not at My Little Mermaid. But what about gorilla trekking? So what do you take groups to do that?
that one was one of the craziest adventures I've ever been on, especially because we took our three kids when they were under the age of 7. So
Oh,
they
wow.
were 7, what was it, 7, 4, and 2 at the time. This was a few years ago. And we're in Rwanda, which we were amazed by the beauty of Rwanda. It's like the Ireland
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend visiting Rwanda, by the way. And basically, we had an opportunity, just the adults, to go gorilla trekking because we were already in Rwanda, already in Africa. And I was terrified. I'm like, what do you mean I need to leave the kids with a babysitter I just met?
Yeah.
And you got to drive an hour and a half away from the resort to the mountain. And then you got to trek another hour and a half into the jungle to hopefully see the gorillas. There was all this calculation that I was doing of how far
Yeah.
away I'm going to be from my kids.
Yeah.
And there was just so much that went into it. And as we're also in the beginning of the mountain, they couldn't find our gorillas because usually they find the gorillas for you before.
Yeah.
And they ask you, do you want to do the easy trek, which is 30 minutes? Do you want to do the medium one, which is an hour, or the hour and a half? And my husband, he's way more adventurous than I. He's like, we're already here. Let's do the adventurous one. And I'm like, okay. And then as we're standing at the edge of the mountain, before we go in, they're like, sorry, we can't find the gorillas because yesterday they had a fight with another gorilla family.
Oh,
So we're going to still see if we can find them. And while we're waiting, I notice that the guy standing next to the counselor or the guide has a gun. And I'm thinking, oh, I feel so much better now, right? Protected. I ask him, is the gun to help us against the gorillas if something goes bad? And he says, oh, no, nothing can protect you from the gorillas, not even this gun. And I'm like, so what's the gun for? I'm like, so what's the gun for? He's like, oh, that's for the buffaloes. Sometimes they just storm through the jungle and come at you. So we just quickly, shoot in the air and that scares them away. I'm like, great.
wow. Wow.
So it was crazy. I still can't believe that I did that. And then we started looking for them, and it took us 3 hours to find the gorillas that
Wow.
fled the day before. It was
Wow.
one of the most amazing things I've ever done. We got to be 3 feet away from this beautiful gorilla family,
Wow.
and there was a baby, 1 month old,
Wow.
tiny little baby. It's amazing, breathtaking.
Wow. Oh, for some reason I thought you took groups there, but that whatever, it doesn't matter. What a
So it wasn't
fantastic,
us. It was like tourist groups. We
yeah,
joined the group,
what a
basically. Yeah.
fantastic experience.
Yeah.
Wow. I can imagine the fear of leaving your kids though
Yeah.
with someone you didn't know. Wow.
Right.
I don't know if
We're
I
like,
would do that. Wow.
yeah, the driver knew her. We met the driver the day before, though.
Oh my God. See? Wow. Wow. Well, anyway, it doesn't
A
matter.
lot of trust. A lot of trust. It all comes down. So most of us, there's so much to talk about, but
I
basically it
know.
all comes down to control,
Yeah, talk about
right?
that.
And so let me take a step back. The reason I even wrote this book, I used to be the girl that didn't go on roller coasters. I only went on my first roller coaster at age 34 because I was terrified of roller coasters.
Yeah.
For me, just thinking about a roller coaster
Yeah.
until then was like thinking it would feel like active torture. Like being on something that you're restricted on, you're buckled on, and you can't get off, and you never know when it's going to feel like it's the end.
Yeah.
And I avoided anything that even reminded me of a roller coaster. So I definitely thought that the world was divided by two people that don't go on roller coasters like me, and I thought that we all get each other. And the people that do go on roller coasters,
Yeah.
which I called fearless. I thought they had no fears. I was so jealous of them. I'm like, it must be nice to have no fears. And while writing this book, I realized everybody has a fear.
Yeah.
And usually it comes down to control.
Yeah.
So knowing that, now I have these two big distinctions that I'm letting myself be led by? Am I letting fear lead the way right now or hope?
Mm,
They're both made up.
mm,
So why don't we pick the better one?
yep.
They're both made up.
Mm. So I agree. When you say control, do you mean we fear something if we feel like we haven't got control?
Yeah.
Mm,
For example, I have a friend that tells me she's not afraid of anything, not afraid of heights. She swam with sharks. She doesn't have any regular fear that a lot of us fearful people have that
mm,
have to do with speed, heights, claustrophobia. But she has a fear of failure.
mm,
And that's something that you think you have control over.
mm,
Like, if I do this, I won't fail. Or, for example, if somebody has a fear of having hard conversations or leaving their workplace,
mm.
they think that if they just stay there forever, then that's how they hold on to the control. It'll be fine. Even if I'm miserable at this
Yeah,
job,
that's right. You're
it's
miserable.
it's a false sense of control.
Yeah, yeah,
So it all comes down to control. So at the end of the day, we need to practice being comfortable with uncertainty
yeah,
and not being in control.
yeah,
Comfortable in not being comfort. Comfort in uncomfort.
yeah, yeah.
I used to be the queen of the comfort zone. Just let me stay at home in front of Netflix with snacks. I didn't care about adventures because I thought that I was safest at home. I had the most
Yep,
control.
yep.
And that all stopped when I met my friend. She was my postpartum doula. She told me such an interesting story that gave me so much perspective. So most of us think we're safest at home, right?
Yep.
And she told me that very nonchalantly. This is a little bit after I conquered the fear of flights. And she didn't know that I had a fear of flights, but
Mm.
she nonchalantly told me that she survived a small plane crash and
Oh,
swam to the island. And I
what?
was like, why are you telling me this? Don't you know? And she didn't know.
Oh,
But then one day I asked her, why is she walking with like a limp? Like, she was always saying that her back hurt. And I was wondering, like, is that because of the plane crash? And I asked her, I said, why are you with this limp? And she said, oh, 20 years ago, she slipped in her bathroom, hit her neck on
oh,
the edge of the bathtub. And then for 20 years, back problems. She had to do back surgery more than twice. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this
yep.
is such a false um, idea that we're safest at home.
Mm,
And I also learned that
mm,
more people get injured in their homes than
yep,
on actual adventures or on planes or cars.
yep, yep.
So we just have to change the narrative. Like, we think that wherever we feel safe, we should stay, but we're missing out on all the adventures we could have. So instead
Yep.
of thinking about where can I be safest, right? Where can I be safest? Where can I be safest? No, like, how do we live the
Yeah,
fullest
yeah,
life?
yeah, yeah.
How do we live more?
Mm,
Because the
mm,
statistics are very low.
yep.
That's where we get to, again, doubt the fear. Doubt the fear.
But even on planes, do you know, because I know a lot of people that fear flying. I love airplanes. I love airplane food. Talk about safety risk. But anyway,
Me too. I'm weird like that.
but people are like, oh no, I just go, I'm so scared of flying. But they'll get in their car, and they'll drive. They'll they. I always say to people when you're driving, don't trust anyone. Assume that everyone's freaking on their phone or doing something stupid because you can't trust just because you're focused that other people are. But other people have got this kind of false sense of safety on the road. It's like I'm driving and everyone's staying in their lane, and no, they're freaking not. And yet they won't get in an aeroplane. And
Yeah.
I think if you have an airplane crash, like honestly, I do think this. If a jumbo jet comes down, and you're on that plane. I just believe that's fate. You know, you were all rounded up together, and that's just fucking it's your time, that kind of thing. But to be panicked about, but to go in the car, you know, that's a whole different story. I'm like 10
Right.
times more alert when I'm in my car than I am on
Yeah.
not that I can control the airplane, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
oh my
So
God.
it all goes back to control. Where
Yeah,
we
it
think
is.
we have control, and most of the time it's false sense of control. We
Yeah.
don't really have control over anything.
No, we
Anything.
don't. No. No, we
Nothing.
don't. No, no, we don't. No, we don't. I just put new pump in, and I thought I had control because I put a new valve on, and it was real good. And then the next morning we woke up. My partner goes, "Fuck! The whole front lawn's flooded. What? You know, we're starting to come over our concrete slab of our house." I'm like, "What the hell?" And it wasn't my plumbing, thank God. I'm proud to say that. But the pipe had burst further up. So we think we've got control. We think if I do
Yeah.
this, if I do
Yeah.
this, this will be fixed. And if I do that, it'll prevent this. And we do that a lot, like with everything in life. But
Right.
I think we've got to be better at um, managing the unexpected when it happens. Do you know, like being able to handle situations when
Right. So we
something
can
happens.
control one thing. We can control one thing,
Our
how we
response.
react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
We
what
can't control what happens, but we can control how we react.
that's what we need to get better at, don't we?
Mhm.
Thinking about.
And then it's possible with practice. We're
Yeah.
just used to the other ways, letting fear lead, or we just got to keep adding more practice, because I mean, I'm proof
100%.
that we can change. I mean, I used to not, you couldn't get me even, like, if you even told me that there was a trip coming up that involved an airplane, I didn't sleep all the way until that trip.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And now I'm excited to go on airplanes. I'm actually, what's funny, I used to be terrified of that and of roller coasters. Now when I'm on an airplane and there's like a little bit of a dip, like in landing, I'm like, "Woo, yay!
Yeah, I
It's like
do.
I'm on a roller coaster."
I love it.
And I'm like, how? What? I would never say that before. I thought that people that love roller coasters are loving this, and now I love roller coasters and I'm loving this. Just
Wow.
so our minds are incredible. We
Yeah,
we
they are.
really can change our mind
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
we think.
Well, I don't like the roller coasters. I get motion sickness, so I'm just not a good. Even when I'm snorkeling, do you know that's funny? I can be under the water holding my breath, and I'm fine. As soon as I get to the surface and it's like that movement, I'm like
Yeah.
I nearly throw up in the damn snorkel. It's it's
Oh,
a bloody awful. Yeah, I was going to ask you before you said it's about practice, and I'm such a big believer in that. You know, I've got the confidence cap, you know, which you've seen, and which is courage, action, and
love it.
practice, and
Love it.
everything you're saying, like you know, I nearly didn't do anything with that because I just used to use it as a little bit of fun in my leadership things, you know, and I'd put it on and it'd say, you know, you get confidence by courage, action, and practice, you know, and if nothing else, remember me standing up here looking like a bit of a dick with this hat on, and that was as far as I ever used it until Sam, you know, both of us have met through Sam,
Right.
and I was with
Oh,
Sam in
amazing
Hawaii
lady.
last year, and she said, well, why aren't you doing more with this confidence cap? And I'm like, because it's a bit gimmicky, do you know, and she said, how many, what, she asked me what it stands for. And I said, well, courage, action, practice. She said, how many times have you validated that in your life? And I said, oh my God, thousands, like thousands, and not just me, other people. And it's what I teach, you know, to get people to become better leaders, to become more confident leaders, exactly that. And she said, use the bloody thing. Show it off. Like talk about it. Give it. Don't be so selfish that other people can't tap into this very simple formula. And so I am doing it. But what you're talking about, like you're talking about, you know, going from a worry bunny to a wonder bunny and talking about riding roller coasters and writing a book and going gorilla trekking and getting mermaid certification and getting off that
Yeah.
tube and looking under the
Yeah.
water and flying an airplane. I mean, you've said like 10 chunky things, and there'll be these are big things, and there'll be a hell of a lot more other things. And and it just goes to show you, it's exactly right. Nothing happens unless you take that courageous action. But we talked
Right.
earlier about momentum. You've got to keep practicing it. Like that's
You
the
have to.
magic. That's the
Or you just
magic.
go back to where you were in the beginning.
Exactly.
You let fear run the show.
When you wrote the book, like, were
Hmm.
you fearful of that? Were you like had the imposter syndrome? Who would
Yeah.
even read a book? Who wants to read a book about a girl who won't go on a roller coaster? No one's going to read that shit. I mean,
Oh my
what
gosh.
pushed you to go?
Oof.
No, damn it, I am going to write that book.
I'll tell you. So this book, from idea to holding it, took
Yeah.
6.5 years.
Wow.
6.5 years. In those 6.5 years, so many times I put it down. I was raising three kids, homeschooling them, thinking, who am I to follow my dreams right now? I
Yep.
should be total mom right now, because being a mom was my first ever dream.
Mm,
Why am I following another dream right now? And I kept pushing it down and saw other speakers that talk about fear. And I'm like, wow, they do it so much better. They know how to speak so well.
mm,
Why even bother? There's already this great lady doing it.
yep.
And one day I suddenly looked at it differently. Instead of trying to label myself as becoming an author, because I said, it's not about becoming an author. I really had no dreams of becoming an author.
Mm,
It was about, I had this idea that can help others, because I created all these tools. I had
yep.
so many tools, and I'm like, and I put them on a bookmark that I carry with me. And I'm saying, every time I'm on during this fear, I look at the tools and I remember, because a lot of times you forget. I'm like, wow, remembering the tools is helping me.
Mm,
If I could put these in a book, it could help others with similar
yep.
fears. A lot of these are common fears.
Yep.
And so when I remembered, wait a second, it's not about becoming an author. It's about the fact that I have an art that wants to come out in a way of a book.
Mm,
So it's
mm,
just like when you have an idea of a painting, you're not going to tell yourself, well, I'm not a painter.
yep.
Don't even bother.
Mm,
No, it's like when you look at it as art and you say, this art wants to come through like as a book.
mm,
So that's when I started going and I said, this is my art.
yep.
And it doesn't matter if there's 10 different speakers that talk about fear,
Yep.
everybody's going to talk about it in their unique way,
Yep.
because you don't have artists that are the same.
Yep.
So the second I started looking at it as an art or as art, it just changed the game. So I was
Mm,
like, let me finish my art piece.
that's
And
great.
yeah, and I lowered the stakes. It didn't need to become a New York bestseller. All it had to be was packaged for one important person. I was thinking about my eldest son. I was
Mm,
writing this book for him,
yep.
because if nobody else reads it, but my kids get this, then it was all worth it. This is a
Yeah.
legacy.
Yeah. That's such a good. They always say that, don't they? Write that book for that one person. Yep.
Yeah.
And I
So
love
you just
that.
have to not listen to that imposter syndrome, because we
Yeah.
all have it.
Yeah.
You really hear everybody has it, and
Yep.
you just have to remember that
Mm,
everybody has it. So just look at it as an art. Like everybody has a story in them. Every
I
single
love
person.
it. I've never heard that before. Like, I really love that, turning it into a piece of art, because yes, like I've heard, a lot of us have heard, but it's not your voice, but it's your voice. Your voice is different to someone else. And I've had that same thing that you've had, looking at other people doing stuff and say, oh, there's already someone doing that. And
Right.
it stops you in your tracks and you think, who am I? Like that. And then I remember, I always get back on top of it by thinking, well, hang on, people haven't heard it in my voice, right? And
Yeah.
so that's what keeps me going through everything I do, is my voice is different to others, even if it is the same message, and maybe it's my voice that will make it land. And sometimes my voice won't make it land for someone, but someone else's will, and that's okay. But someone needs my voice. But you going further to that art piece, I love that. Really love it.
And think also, when we're taking the comparison or competition out of it and we're thinking about joining arms,
Yeah.
like, wait a second, I can be another
Yeah.
impact area. Like, hey, you impact this area. Like if you're from, South America and you're a leader there talking
Yeah.
about fear, great. I got this section. Like, let's all team up together and bring more hope into the world.
Mm.
So instead
Agree.
of competition,
Yep.
we want more of the good stuff.
Agree.
Just more of the good stuff.
Agree. I can't stand competition. I don't have a competitive bone in my body, but I tell you, I agree with that. I was talking to Olivia Mitchell, who is also in our group, in our little group with Sam. She's writing a book called Tiny Steps of Courage, and she's also taken 6 years to write this book, and we were having a chat the other day, and I've got to get her on, I've got to get her on the podcast. And we were both, how can we support each other? Because we're all saying the same thing. Take courageous action and practice it. We're all saying the same thing. And we were both saying, well, how can I support you and how can you support me? Well, not I don't actually ask for people to support me because I don't, if they want to, that's great, but I'm not going, but how can I support you? And we both agreed that the more people that are on the journey, the stronger the message is going to get out there. And that is about your belief, your genuine belief in the message, your genuine care for others beyond yourself. Where it
Right.
changes is when people are so ego filled that I want to be the only one. I don't want anyone else to have a voice on this topic because I want to be the master, the guru of it.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you genuinely want it for the world. You just want
Correct.
yourself to be,
Right.
your ego to be in a shining light. But I think we've got to do better than that. We've got to look at, I want the world to be a better place, and I need to do my part, my piece of the puzzle that fits in with all the other pieces of the puzzle to make the picture that's actually going to move the world. And
And
that's
I
how I
think
see it.
that's also something that could remind you to share your message with your cap more often because
Mm,
you're genuine and you care about the message.
I do.
So a lot of times I also quiet down because I think somebody else does it better. And when I think about the people that are waiting for my message, then I get out of my own head.
Yep.
I overthink it. I'm
Yep.
like, oh, I'm just a beginner. Who's going to listen to me? It's like, all you need to do is not save, but heal one person from their fear and show them how much they can create their own life by having lots of hope.
Yep.
And they can lead a total different life of adventures because all these adventures we talked about, none of them were given to me.
Yeah.
I I couldn't know that that's how my life will be.
Yeah.
It was only when I decided to go through different fears that I was becoming this adventurous person that people know me as now. But if you meet people that knew me in high school, they kept offering adventures to me and I kept saying no, like, no, I don't do that. No, I'll do the swan paddle boards, swan paddle boat at the theme park, right? Everybody's like, let's go on the roller coaster. I'm like, no, no, no. For me, it's the slow rise. I said no to everything.
Yeah. Ah,
So we are capable of changing our life completely.
we
And
are. Yeah.
we, so whoever is here for the message, we got to get out of our own head, our own like fear of like, doesn't matter. Because I could go out now and find 5 baristas that I could tell them about the message. And we have a beautiful saying in Judaism that one who heals one soul, saves one soul, it's as if they healed the whole world.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
You just think of that one person that's
Yeah.
waiting for you,
Yeah.
for your kindness, for
Yeah.
your message.
Do you know, I agree with that totally. When I always say when I speak or do something, and I say it openly when I'm speaking or when I'm doing a workshop, I don't, everyone in this room, most people cannot get something out of that. And I'm okay with that. I'm not really, because I really do want people to take away a message. But if that one person, if my message if impacts that one person, that is so important, and when you were just saying something then about and then my damn phone's ringing and bloody now distracting me, and I've got it on silent and it's still distracting me. But it's I think that is really important to I know what I was going to say about the one person you don't know, because I just did a series, a vulnerability series, do you know? And I had lunch with a friend who said, yeah, I didn't, it sort of didn't, wasn't, it's not who I think you are. You know, it's not kind of, and I'm like, that's interesting because in my whole Confident Leaders course, it's all about vulnerability, do you know, but it's never shown to the world. Do you know, it's an in-house private sort of, we all talk about vulnerability, everyone's very wrong. And I thought that is such an important part of me, but isn't it interesting that somebody interprets it that's, you know, that's not what you normally talk about. But I did this series and I got this email out of the blue from somebody who said, "How do I sign up to your email?" Because at the I had to take a subscribe thing off my thing because it broke anyway, and I didn't put it back on. How do I subscribe to your email? Because a friend just sent me your last newsletter, and she said I can't tell you how much it impacted me. You know? And so she would have missed out. But we've got to think, we've got to back ourselves and go, there's someone who needs to hear this. And every email I've sent out with that, somebody, at least one, has come back saying, I so needed this right now. And I think we're not good at we're not good at the intangible. Do you know, if someone says they need it, we can give advice. We're great at that. But if we can't see that invisible person, we're not very good at going, maybe there's someone who really needs that. Do you know? I'm going to do it anyway, even though there's an
Yeah.
invisible
Well,
person.
notice because you have such wonderful energy, I bet that when you meet a barista, there's no way she's not smiling all the way to her eyes after she
That's
meets you.
true.
Right. So there's your proof.
Yeah, that's
She's your one
true.
person in that moment. Look how
Yeah,
you affected her just from your energy.
yeah. And do you know that that's funny you should say it, because I've got this big belief that when I go out and have a coffee, I am I love the barista. And I mean I do. I give them so much love. And the waitress, I always say thank you so very much. You know, have a wonderful day. I care about them so much because I think they get so much shit, you know, that people take them for granted. And I hate it. So yes, I do. When I go to a cafe, I give so much because I adore the work they do and I adore the service that they give. You're very right. Um,
I can feel that you have huge impact.
Thank you.
And I hope you never stop because you have such loving, beautiful energy. And
Thank
it
you.
really like it doesn't even matter what you say. It is felt that it is delivered with love.
Mm, thank you. That's Yep. And that's how I want to be, and that's how I want, because I have this another belief. I've got a lot of good strong beliefs, but whoever you're present with, you love them, and I mean love them. You know, like you give love. And I've had people say to me, like some leaders have said, but how do you love people when they've hurt you, you know, and I say you've got to find a way for your soul to love their soul. And you just got to do it, because and everyone in my rooms, for any reason, I do love them. And some
Yeah.
some people think
And
that's
it's true.
weird.
No, I mean like when you love someone, like even today, I just asked somebody at the gym if I could use an area, and he's like, "Well, I'm in this space. You can use that if you stand over there." And at first I was like, "Wow, like why is he giving me that energy? I come with so much love." But then when I'm thinking about loving them, I'm thinking, "Wow, he must have a hard
Yep,
morning. Something's
yep,
going on."
yep,
So just that loving them no matter what, it's
yes,
like, oh, his energy wasn't directed at me. Like
yep,
nothing I did
yep.
created that. Like it brings out compassion.
It does.
And I bet they feel it. Whoever has energy that others would say, like, why are you giving that person love? It's like, I bet you those people, it's a cry for help, a cry
Yep,
for love.
yep. I
So
agree.
the more love we could, we get to continue our message and not ever have imposter syndrome ever again.
Well, that's
We just
not going
got
to
to
be the case
remember.
because we're always going to have imposter syndrome. We're always going to have self-doubt. But the point is, you've got to, love has to come first. Love, it has to
Mhm.
come first. And I agree. Some days it's hard, but it's hard surface level, but it's not hard at a deep level. It's very easy at a deep level to love
And
people.
it also helps when you remember, like, oh, I'm the source of light today, or I'm the source of love right now. Ooh,
Yeah.
he needs me.
Yeah.
He needs
Yeah.
me. Here you go. Here's more love.
As long as we don't drain ourselves of all the love,
Exactly.
we've got to be
We,
careful of
we got
that.
to
But
know how to fill ourselves up.
exactly, exactly. Sorry, I have loved this conversation so much, and I love what you're doing. I love your energy, and I love your love that you're putting back into the world. And you know, I'm not going to be hard on people, but I wish more people would just please let down the walls, and just share love, share kindness, and just, the world's a
Share
shitty
your art.
place. It's so hard.
Share
Like,
your art. Yeah.
please, yes, share your art. Share what's within you. Be vulnerable. I like open it up
Hmm.
because we
Yeah.
are all good people. I do think we are all good people trying our best, and some people have had shitty shit happen, that has
Right.
blocked them. And if people don't give them a chance, how are we ever going to make
Right.
make a better world? But I love what you're doing. I love that you written the book. I love that you the way you explain it, as in sharing your art. And I've never heard that before, and I'm so thankful to hear it from you, because that is such a, to me, I'm imagining other people listening to this going, "Oh wow, what a good way to look at it." I will share my art, even if it's making soy candles. I don't know, but whatever
Anything.
whatever your
Anything.
art is.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
I sound like I've just belittled that, and I don't mean to belittle. That's not what I mean. But Sarit, I've just loved this. Thank you so much for being the really kind, beautiful soul, putting all this into the world. And I'm sure people are going to want to follow you, or check out your book, or all that. So where can people find you?
Well, I'm on Amazon. I also have a really cool audiobook that I'm really proud of. In between the chapters, it's kind of podcast style with
Yeah.
my hubby. We have short conversations.
Oh,
It's
fabulous.
on Amazon. The Girl Who Doesn't Go on Roller Coasters.
Yep.
And also, they can follow me on social media on Instagram. It's at Sahrit, Sahrit Weinstein, Weinstein. And over there, I'm going to publish, I'm going to have a free Zoom call in a week to talk about more fears and more tools to overcome them so we can live our fullest life.
Fantastic. This might not be out before you do that, so
That's
so
okay.
you'll have another
I'll
one.
have more Zoom calls
Yeah, you'll have another one in the future. And also LinkedIn. People can find you on LinkedIn as
Yes.
well. Are you on? Do you have a website at all, or that's
Not yet.
it's
I am still
coming?
figuring that out.
Yeah.
That's part of me and my next fears that I'm working on is just learning how to do things and seeing that I'm capable
You
of figuring that
can.
out. It will happen. We can do anything.
Oh, you can do anything. It's not that hard to set up a website. And yesterday I spent the entire day transferring emails from one email, what do you call it? A place that from Office 365 over to Google Workspace. Fuck, it took me the whole day. But anyway, we can do stuff, and you can build a website, and you just ask ChatGPT, and they'll
Yeah.
just give you all the instructions, and you got to guide the whole way you do it. But so website coming soon. But Sarit, thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us today, and I'm just
Thank you for
wrapped.
having me.
Oh, it's
Oh,
my absolute pleasure. We'll stay in
thank you
touch,
so
but
much. Feel my hug.
yeah,
Feel my
yeah,
hug.
big hug. But I really hope we'll stay in touch regardless. But I really hope
For sure.
other people reach out and start following you as well, and buy the book. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chat soon. See ya.